Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you are listening, folks. Thank you very, very much for listening. Today is the 6th of June. Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't realize that. I'll take things that I didn't realize before coming into today's episode for 500, Alex. Today's January 6th. What's up? I didn't have anything planned for this. Wow, what a bummer. What a huge bummer that I didn't clock this ahead of time. I didn't look at the calendar. I thought it was like, to be honest with you, I thought we were maybe around January 13th at this point. It's January 6th. Again, what's up? It was just a couple years ago today that essentially a guy in the Philippines who was addicted to pornography and the internet. Just so happens that those two things go really well together. That guy basically gaslit a sect of the American population into showing up at the Capitol on the day that the election was to be sealed and tried to get in the building and be like, what's up? What's up? Hey, we talk a little bit about QAnon in an upcoming bonus episode of the Coping Hour that's going to be dropping on Wednesday. Trying something a little bit new. So it'll be the normal week. We're officially back onto the normal Coping Hour schedule. Holiday break is over. But on Wednesday, in the middle of the week, there will be a nice little bonus episode for you guys. And then probably going to do one or two of those, just kind of see how they go, do a little test run of them. You guys will see not really too much sports in there that we talk about. A lot of conspiracies, do a lot of stuff about conspiracies. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Hey, why don't we actually jump into, let's stop talking about January 6th. It was a funny thing that fucking happened. What else is there to say about it? Let's jump into what I actually want to spend a majority of today's episode talking to you folks about at home. The Detroit Lions, for the first time, and I genuinely in my heart believe for the only time in my life, have just won the NFC North for 2 consecutive seasons. And not only that, but by winning tonight against the Minnesota Vikings, 31-9, they are also the number 1 seed for the 2025 NFL playoffs. I have been saying for the last week that I don't think I've lived through a Lions game that feels as big as this one does. The NFC Championship game was one thing a season ago. Truthfully, like I don't know about all Lions fans on this. This was where my headspace was at a year ago. Was the Packers Sunday night game from 2 years ago where we knew we had nothing to play for. We were completely out of it, but we still went out there and we knocked the Packers out of the playoffs by beating them. All they had to do was win and they were in. It was also Aaron Rodgers' final game as a Green Bay Packer. We had nothing to play for and we still showed up and we were like, fuck that. This matters to us because of what we're building foundationally. So what ended up being last season for me was proving that that was real. And what did that need to look like to me? Winning the division would be amazing. Honestly, to me, that was the expectation, but I thought that would, I don't know. I wasn't too sure about that. It was winning a playoff game. If it can be at home, that would be amazing. But it was winning a playoff game. And so once they did that, and it was not just winning a playoff game, not just winning one at home, but also beating Matthew Stafford, and just the bow on that story, the Stafford and Goff saga, right? And to have that moment in Ford Field where we beat Matthew Stafford for our first playoff win in 30 damn years, it may as well have been. Then you play the Buccaneers, another home playoff game. You win that one too. So at that point, once we beat the Rams, we were just kind of playing with house money in my brain. And it was like anything that happened after that. I'm being very wordy, but I really just want to set the stage of like where I'm at with this whole thing, right? I guess if it is a time capsule show, it is important for posterity. Like what is going through my brain right now? I cannot believe that this is real. I cannot believe that this is real, is the truth, folks. That this is happening. This is happening on televisions around America right now, that the Detroit Lions are as good as they currently are. And I don't think I will ever see this again for the rest of my life. I will never feel as privileged as I do right now, every single Sunday, turning on my favorite football team, expecting them to win. And not just expecting them to win, by the way. What has been like the defense mechanism for Lions fans for the last like 6-7 weeks? Namely the last like 2 or 3. Injuries. Oh, but guys are injured reserve. Like, man, it's over. Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know about this season. Oh, did you see Carlton Davis broke his jaw? Oh, David Montgomery torn MCL. David Montgomery goes to the doctor, and they're like, no, you need to shut down for the season. Get surgery, big dog. Like, you'll be back next year. He's like, fuck that. Goes to his second doctor. Second doctor's like, you probably should get surgery. Might want to be done for the year. Fucking shut up. No. David Montgomery and the Lions just like went to as many doctors as they could. They got as many opinions as they could until they heard what they wanted to hear, which was that, you could probably just like rehab through this and like you'll be fine by like the divisional round. And that's where they're going. It sounds like it's going well. So I don't know. Maybe that philosophy works, right? But it's injuries. And so coming into this game, everybody's expecting a shootout. Lions only -3, -3.5 coming into it. Over under at 56.5 points. A shootout was to be expected. But for the Detroit Lions and their patchwork makeshift defense to go out there and hold the Minnesota Vikings to 9, the Vikings, the 14-2 coming into this game, Minnesota Vikings to 9 points. They didn't score a touchdown. Not only did the Vikings not score a touchdown, dog, Sam Darnold was in goal-to-go situations. What did he finish for the game? Like 0 for 8? He went 18 for 41 for 166 yards? Sam Darnold went 18 for 41 in a game with the NFC North and the 1 seed on the line? I can't believe, no matter how good he's proven to be all season, that's a reality that like is kind of fucking me up a little bit. Because that's how good he's been, but like how far we've come narratively with Sam Darnold. That it's like crazy that he shit the bed in this game. But it's not like just as simple as, not a binary, like he didn't just shit the bed because he fucking stinks. No, it's not about that. It's also the fact that he was pressured more by Detroit tonight than he had been all season. And Aaron Glenn, like every single snap, switching up man and zone. And so fucking Kevin O'Connell can't make heads or tails. What the hell is going on out here? What's going on? What is going on? It used to be, you play the Detroit Lions, you get a free win. I'm not so sure. If you like the Detroit winning, if you like the Detroit Lions winning the division today, there's going to be a lot more of that tomorrow. Aaron Glenn, game ball. Amik Robertson, dog. Justin Jefferson like couldn't get looks in this game. If it wasn't because Sam Darnold was just airmailing, it was because Amik Robertson was in his fucking jersey. I was like, rip his chain out, dog. Seriously, like get in there. Alex Anzalone coming back in this game. You know, we talk about injuries. Somebody finally comes back. Holy shit, somebody finally comes back. Alex Anzalone, the middle of the defense. The green dot on the defense. Finally back in there. I cannot believe how obvious it was that his presence was missed these last few weeks that he's been gone. Broke like his forearm. Comes back tonight wearing a club. Dude, he was exceptional. And then you look at Jared Goff, and he has those 2 picks in the first half of the game. But what was weird is, like, if you're box score watching, you're like, holy shit, Jared Goff having enough. The Lions, like, hadn't scored that many points. They were, like, 7 or 10 points at the time. Jared Goff just, like, 2 interceptions in this game? Is he having a game where Jared Goff is seeing ghosts? Not really, though. Wasn't the take, because what we like to say on this program is not all interceptions are created equally, and they're not. Everybody loves to, including myself, by the way, love to talk about the fact Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions in a game earlier this season against Houston. The Lions still won that game. Because, like, it's funny to say that because it's crazy that it's true. But if you go back and look at those interceptions, like, okay, 2 of them were tipped, whether it's at the line or, like, whatever, like, it was out of Jared's hands, right? Like, yes, it's still an interception, but it's not because of anything that he did wrong. That's 2 of them. All right, well, Nick, he still threw 3 picks. Well, one of them was just a halftime Hail Mary into the end zone. There's no time on the clock. It gets picked off. All right, we just fucking go to the locker room. All right, that's not a real pick. He threw 2 picks. All right, well, yeah, like that sucks. So it's like not, you know what I mean? It's not that crazy. So that the reason I spent so much time explaining that was just be like, that game wasn't even a see and ghost game. The Tampa Bay one at the beginning of the season that the Lions also lost, that to me felt like one. The Bills game, Jared Goff was fucking amazing in that one, so it wasn't that one either. So if you take out those 2 picks today that he had, well, even those, one of them was a tip ball on a screen, which you could, I don't know if he was trying to kill the ball or if he was kind of trying to like zip to Craig Reynolds on that screen. I think he was trying to zip because Reynolds had so much green in front of him. It was definitely going to be a first down. So that one was kind of weird. If you want to blame Jared for it, okay, he had 1 pick today. Well, the second one was the Vikings get stopped at the 2-yard line again. They get stopped at goal to go again. 4th and goal. Again. And the first play from their own 2-yard line, Jared Goff, play action, back of his own end zone, just throws up a nuke to J-Mo. The ball gets interception. Good play by the safety, diving backwards, gets the pick. It was a good play. All right, well, they have it at the 50-yard line. It's effectively just an arm punt on first down. It's just the same thing as if you went through. See what I mean? It's like, it's not that big of a deal. Well, it depends on what the Vikings end up doing with that possession. Well, they had it in great field position. Sam Darnold almost threw a fucking pick to Zadarius Smith and then almost threw a different one. Brian Branch, I think, got an illegal contact. No, Sam Darnold had a damn intentional grounding on that drive too. Held him to 3 points. All right, so it wasn't that bad. Again, I'm being very wordy, but like Jared Goff, if you take those out, he's 27 for 31, 231 yards and a touchdown in this game. Nick, you've spent 10 minutes talking about the Lions, and you haven't mentioned the fact that one of those the one touchdown pass that Jared Goff had went to Jahmyr Gibbs. He had 4 tonight. Jahmyr Gibbs had 4 touchdowns tonight. All of them, by the way. That's all of them. The Lions only had 31 points. Oh, I only had 31 points. It's a lot of points to score against a team like Minnesota that has won so many games, a grand number of games, 14 games, by the way. Jahmyr Gibbs, 4 touchdowns, 3 of them on the ground, 23 attempts, 139 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, the burden that he has shouldered in David Montgomery's absence cannot be understated. Overstated? People always love to do the Sonic and Knuckles thing, the Thunder and Flash thing with David Montgomery and with Jahmyr Gibbs. And it's like David Montgomery is the real force, you know. But we see on, I don't know, 3rd and 2 all the time, Jahmyr Gibbs is in the backfield. Because, like, Maddie and I were talking about this during the game. It's like, yeah, David Montgomery is just like, that dude is fucking weight room, like, power muscle. But Jahmyr does the same thing, but just because of how fast he runs. And so it's just like an inertia thing, right? We've been watching Damn, Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity? That show hosted by Travis Kelce, where he has a bunch of his famous friends, and they try to just like answer crazy questions and see who wants to win $100,000 and shit like that. It's a question about like the law of inertia. It's basically just that. Jahmyr Gibbs just runs so fast into a linebacker that he's still able to fall forward, right? He's still able to create that. I don't know. So it's basically the same thing. He was incredible. He was amazing. I mean, top to bottom, I can't believe this is real. I can't believe that I'm going to be watching my team play, hopefully, 2 home playoff games. The Super Bowl, like, for real goes through Detroit. Like, home field, I'm just trying to say all this out loud because I can't, this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm never going to see this again. I'm never going to see this again. And I think I was feeling it all game, man. Like the magic was just there. Like it just really felt like it was there. The Lions like never trailed in this game. It just never happened. The wheels like never fell off. I'm just like, I don't think Dan Campbell loses these games. I just don't think that's and I'm not even saying that because like that could age poorly in fucking 2 weeks. We could be sitting here, doing a surrender Cobra, the Lions lose in the fucking divisional in a disaster class. Like that could happen. but it just didn't really feel like this team wasn't good. Dan's going up to the podium right now. I can't wait to see, by the way, what this post-game locker room celebration video looks like. Look how damn happy he looks, man. Shirts are cool. Hats look cool. I just can't, I'm never going to see it again. I'm never going to, and I would have fucking killed someone. And this is where I'm not even trying to pander and like do the whole like, oh, pat Minnesota fans on the fucking back. I'm not trying to, let me be very clear. I would be saying the same shit if the Lions lost. I would be saying this. Obviously, I'm being so for real about this. Minnesota being the 5 seed is bullshit. That's the loser of this game. The fact that they would have had to have gone to Los Angeles. I do not want to play in Los Angeles. I don't. I do not want to play this Rams team on the road. I really don't. I think Vikings fans will be able to travel well. And hey, I don't know. Maybe the Vikings fans won't even have to work that hard. You see this, you hear about this. So the Vikings ownership group purchased $2 million worth of tickets to this Lions game in Detroit. Week 18, the final game of the regular season to determine the NFC North and the number 1 seed in the playoffs. Vikings ownership purchased $2 million worth of tickets and then resold them at face value to their season ticket holders. That's awesome. That is only cool. What an awesome gesture to your season ticket holders. And is a lot better, by the way, than what we see from a lot of franchises. It seems like something, well, no, I don't even want to say that seems like a bars on the floor thing. No, not from these, like, the way that these teams are run now, like they're a whole fucking enterprise. That's a really cool thing to do. You guys see the thing? A guy posted on Reddit his, like, season ticket holder gift. You know, season ticket holders for teams, like, you get, like, a gift, like, hey, thanks for being a fucking season ticket holder at the end of the season. The one that he got as a Titans fan, as a Titans season ticket holder, was a Delaney Walker bobblehead. And on the bottom of the bobblehead, there's like a printing on it that says like 2023 season tickets. So it's a fucking, they re-gifted him some shit from. So you know what I mean? The Vikings didn't have to do what they did. I thought that was really cool. And so I get very wordy, being very, very wordy today. I feel like something like that could happen in Los Angeles, because didn't that happen with the Rams where, I don't remember if it was a regular season game or it had to have been a playoff game. I think it was a playoff game during their Super Bowl run, actually, that San Francisco played in Los Angeles, and the Rams had to, like, fucking geographically block people from purchasing tickets. Like, if you lived in NorCal, or like outside of a certain, like, greater Los Angeles area, you were not allowed to buy tickets because it was just a bunch of people from fucking Oakland who were like, I want to go to this game. And there are way more Niners fans than there are actual Rams fans. You know, what is that? A 5-hour drive? 4 or 5 hour drive? That's not that crazy at all. So Vikings fans should be able to, it's not a bad game for them, but it's the consolation of, like, just that adds to the stakes of why it felt like such a big game to me, is because your path is just so much more different. It's so much more different. They showed a graphic at the beginning of the game. 2 number 5 seeds have made to the Super Bowl ever. It was the 2007 Giants, the David Tyree helmet catch game, beating the Patriots. That would have been actually the 16-0 Patriots at the time. Yeah, it had to have been. Yeah. So those Giants were the 5 seed. Whoa, impressed. And then also the Brady Bucks in 2020. So those are the only two. So, okay. So is Sam Darnold, is he fucking Eli Manning? Is Sam Darnold the new Eli Manning, and he's going to kill Patrick Mahomes? Is that how this is going to go? I'm going to throw up. That's insane. Sam Darnold pooped his pants tonight. I saw that happen on my television and around televisions in America. I'm not a ratings guy, right? I don't care about the ratings, but I am very excited to see the ratings for this one, because I can't wait to see it. I don't know if I need to call my shot and say that it will be the most watched sporting event that wasn't the Olympics or the fucking Super Bowl from this last year. Well, I guess now we're in the beginning of 2025, but you know what I mean? I think this is going to be high up there. This was a high stakes game. I know but it's probably going to be like top 5. This was big time though. People watch this, right? And so it's one thing when people are watching your favorite team, but it's a whole nother thing when your favorite team, again, plays the way that we have spent the last 15 minutes describing. So the Detroit Lions, man, I believe it's going to happen. I think one of the more profound things that The Office ever said, that the screenwriters ever wrote down, was I wish that there was a way to know when you were in the good old days before you've actually left them. I think that's such a profound thing. It's so beautiful. And it's so true. I think I can clock it as it's happening. I'm living in it right now as a Lions fan. This is for the rest of your life. You will talk about what you are seeing right now as Lions fans. I'm looking at Dan Campbell up at the podium right now. His hat's all on fucking sideways. He's got his divisional. They're showing graphics, number 1 seed for the first time in history. First team in NFL history to improve by 3+ wins in 3 straight seasons. Largest win over the Vikings since 1997. The Detroit Lions, by the way, have also now won 5 straight against the Minnesota Vikings. Dan Campbell owns the Minnesota Vikings. The 3 most significant wins of his career outside of the playoffs themselves. The first win that Dan Campbell ever got as an NFL head coach was against the Minnesota Vikings with the Detroit Lions. We were like 0-11, but through that record, there was still something like palpable about the team that we were like, no, but this is still working. They finally get their first win of the season. It was against the Minnesota Vikings. 1 season ago, the Detroit Lions clinched the NFC North in a game against the Minnesota Vikings. Fast forward to today, the Detroit Lions just clinched the NFC North again and the number 1 seed against the Minnesota Vikings. You will never see this again. You are living in the good old days right now. And so because of that, I'm really just trying to listen. I think I'm good about doing the whole 1 week at a time thing. I think I've really gotten good with that. Just like chill, Nick. But I really feel the magic. I really believe, man. I want to go to the Super Bowl so fucking bad. I want to go to the Super Bowl so bad, dude. I can't let this end in heartbreak. I can't do it. But I'm seeing the Lions fuck with teams psychologically. Minnesota jumped at the 5-yard line with like 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We had them on a 4th and 2. The Lions were never going to snap that fucking ball. They were never going to snap that ball. They were going to take the points up, 27-9 is what it was. They were going to take those fucking points. It was 24-9 is what it was. And get off the fucking field. All they needed was a field goal. The game was a wrap. But the Vikings believed that the Lions would actually go for it because they do stupid shit like that all season in any situation. They'll go for it when you fucking least expect them to. And so for the Vikings, you know what I mean? You do that dumb shit, that risky shit all season for a moment like that against the Vikings. And so that's when you're like, okay, so the team's identity, playing on the margins and playing super risky in that way, is clear. And people are understanding what to expect from Dan Campbell and from Ben Johnson. I'll say it one last time and we'll move on. You are never going to see this again in your life. The Detroit Lions are the best that they will ever be, and I want to go to the Super Bowl so fucking bad. I want to go so bad, folks. copingoursubs@gmail.com, spelled phonetically. Email available in the description. Wherever it is that you listen to this program. Man, we're getting a lot of emails coming in real time about this game. Do I want to do some blind reading ones? I don't think so. We got a couple emails actually from some of you guys about it was a really interesting phenomenon happening in the inbox. It was like people being like, I don't want Jimmy Butler on the team. We got one from Ryan, frequent emailer of the show. Ryan, welcome back to the show. Subject line, Jimmy Butler to the Mavs. No, thank you. Greetings from Dallas. I don't have much to say other than if Jimmy ends up on my basketball team, I will personally set the American Airlines Center on fire before Jimmy gets the chance to do it metaphorically to my team. I'm sure some stats out there support the idea that the Mavs could make a legitimate push to the championship by adding Jimmy to the roster. But what will happen when he eventually gets discontent with the situation? He will set the organization on fire and pour gasoline on his way out, as is always the case, without having a championship to show for it. Please keep him away from my franchise. Much love, Ryan. Yeah, so here's the problem with what Ryan said is I read the first time. I was like, whoa. Jimmy Butler on the Mavs would be fucking sick. I was like, wait, he's kind of onto something. That would actually make a lot of sense. But Ryan doesn't want it to happen. And I read that one, but there was another one from was it a Nets fan? And then there was another one from a Thunder fan. I don't think the Thunder fan has to worry about it. The Nets, what the fuck are they going to do with Jimmy Butler? I don't think he wants to be there. Oh my God, Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons on the same team? Holy shit. Could you imagine that? Ben Simmons is going to show up to practice one day. He's going to be like, I want to fucking I'm Ben Simmons. Well, does he? I don't know. His accent kind of comes and goes. How would Ben Simmons say that he wants to in an Australian accent? Is he from New Zealand? Is he from Australia? Oh, oi, mate. Oi, Jimmy Butler. Oi, Jimmy Butler. I'm worried if I start doing it, I'm going to sound like Jack Sparrow, but if he was an Australian. I just don't think those two guys can be on the same team, so probably not them. Again, it's just an interesting phenomenon. People, I don't fucking want this guy. And maybe it is worth bringing up Jimmy Butler and talking about him a little bit more at length, because in the previous episode, we chronicled the timeline and all the information we knew up to that point, as of the taping, of the Jimmy Butler stuff right now. And without redoing all of that shit, one thing that I said at the end was, but the one thing that we just haven't gotten to with this whole Jimmy Butler new departure is like, where's the 11th hour, I'm going to fucking kill someone unless I get out of here? Where is that from Jimmy Butler? We haven't seen it yet. This is kind of like it almost feels amicable at this point. But then you start to see Shams Charania's, I'm fucking... Jimmy Butler, he wants to leave. Pat Riley comes out. He fucking does not, and we're not going to trade him. Shut up, Shams Charania. Try that one on for size. One size fits all. Shut up. And then Shams Charania is like, he does, actually. And then Jimmy Butler, in the media, was like, I can't wait to get my joy back. And I can't wait to playing somewhere else. And, like, I could have a different role if I was fucking somewhere else. 24 hours later, the Miami Heat come out with a press release, with a fucking Notes app press release. And they're like, we've suspended Jimmy Butler for 7 games for conduct detrimental to the team because of what he said in the media. And then at the end, I don't really want to say snuck in because like they just kind of said it. We're like, and we're going to entertain some offers. What do you got? What do you want for Jimmy Butler? What are you willing to give up? We'll listen to some of them. All right. Yeah, maybe he will. So Shams Charania, good for him. Whoa, this is a win for Shams Charania. This is a win for Big J journalists. That's the fucking take here, is that real journalists going out in the field, texting and using fucking pagers, got 6 phones to talk to GMs and agents and scouts, other insiders within your network. Although I don't really know, that's how it worked at The Athletic. I don't really know how much he has to do that there aren't that many people who are reporting shit. But anyways, big win for him. So it's happening then. So this is happening. Is this all that it's going to be though? Because that's kind of boring. I said we wanted him to go like berserk. And him just like going in the media and acting all fucking depressed. Maybe he should go fucking play with Ben Simmons and he'll show up and Ben's going to be like, oi, mate, you want to kill yourself? And Jimmy Butler's going to be like, yeah, man, I fucking do. He's like, I just want to start playing basketball somewhere else and maybe get my joy back in this thing. And then he's going to start playing with Ben Simmons. He's going to be like, no, I still want to fucking kill myself. What the fuck? This guy stinks. What the hell is this? And then he's going to fucking... That's crazy if that's what got Sean Marks fired. was Jimmy Butler. That's like is that the next step for Jimmy Butler, do you think? Is fuck getting like players traded and like getting myself traded. I want to get everybody fired. At some point, Jimmy Butler will settle down. Maybe fuck. I was gonna say start a family, but he does actually have a family, and that would not be chill of me to make actual jokes about that. But once he settles down and he finds a city that he likes a spot, he likes a branding, he likes the colors and shit, all that, he tries to get a coach fired, he gets the GM fired, and then he just does the Jackie Moon thing. And then he just, is that what Jimmy Butler has been all along? Is a simulation of what Jackie Moon would be like if he was a real guy. Does it give too much credit to Jimmy Butler or not enough credit to Jackie Moon? Are both of those disrespectful to Jimmy? I don't know if that's how I mean it. But from a personality, what the fuck is Will Ferrell doing Capital One commercials? What the hell is this? Have you seen this? Who was it that was it? Jim Carrey was just quoted from Variety, maybe? Vanity Fair? They're like, hey, you're doing another Sonic movie? You just retired from acting. What the hell is this? What are you doing another Sonic movie for? Jim Carrey very candidly goes, yeah, I bought a bunch of shit that I shouldn't have bought and just needed the money. Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, wow. Stars, they're just like us. They'll do some dumb shit because they paid for some dumb shit and now they need a little bit of cash. So I'm like, I'm not trying to pocket watch Will Ferrell. Surely from royalties alone, that guy's got to be, you know what I mean? Elf? Are you kidding me? I can't imagine the fucking dollars that generates. It's on Disney. I think it's on Prime. I know it's on HBO. Sorry, it's on Max. Will Ferrell broke doing Capital One? What the hell is this all about? Will Ferrell doing Capital One commercials. Coping Hour subs at gmail.com, spelled phonetically. Email available in the description, wherever it is that you listen to this program. Is that really all that I had on Jimmy Butler? There had to have been a little bit more. I don't think the Pistons are going to get in on it. I don't. Some people have kind of floated it out. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even think it's worth doing 2.5 minutes on Pistons trading for Jimmy Butler. What are you going to give up for him? I don't even know if I want to. Dude. I don't know if I'm crazy. I don't know if I'm experiencing like some kind of a high from this Lions win. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just crazy right now. I don't want to trade anyone on the Pistons right now. I'm good. Like, let's do this. I like this. I like what's going on. Don't fuck with it. Seriously. And I'm not even just talking about for a Jimmy Butler. That's not real. I'm not even talking about him because that's not even a real thing, right? I don't know. Who's the most extreme one? Brandon Ingram? I just don't even think that's real. Zion? I don't even think that's real. So, like, who's like one of the... Cam Johnson? What about Cam Johnson? Maybe that would be cool. Maybe. Yeah, I guess that would be cool. Did the Nets want Isaiah Stewart? Are they going to do something with him? Because, I don't know, 5D chess here. If I'm Brooklyn and I get Isaiah Stewart and stuff for Cam Johnson, I could immediately flip Isaiah Stewart, reroute him to a contender, and then I just get more stuff. You know what I mean? Then you're like, either you just give Cam Johnson to Oklahoma City and just do the direct, you know what I mean? The direct exchange, or you get, if Detroit has shit that you like better, whatever the and stuff is, if that's better comparatively in Detroit, then you take in Isaiah Stewart. And then you just sell him to Oklahoma City. Boom. Then Oklahoma City gets the change. Everybody gets a little bit of something. Everybody gets to wet their beak a little bit in this deal. And then the Pistons have Cam Johnson. And you gave away Isaiah Stewart and fucking stuff. It'd break my heart. Truthfully, break my heart. Another Troy Weaver guy. Gone. Oh, man. What did they call him? What was that 2020 draft class called? The Core 4. It was the Core 4. That's what it was. It was Killian Hayes, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, Saban Lee. It was the Core 4. All of them are gone, except for Isaiah Stewart. He's the only one that's still there. And just what 2020 was, what that draft class was, what it felt like as a Pistons fan. that first offseason with Troy Weaver. It was like the Ed Stefanski thumb had been unpressed. And we had a new guy on the block who was like he was like a Sam Presti protege. We're like, holy shit, we got this guy from Oklahoma City. The highest praise that you could imagine from like a GM prodigy. Not like a prodigy because he was a grown-ass man. He's in his fucking late 50s. But you know what I mean? Like a guy who was up next in some sense. Everybody was like, this Troy Weaver guy. And I'm not really here to do a whole revisionist thing on him. I don't know. I've done the whole Troy Weaver thing before. I think he got a raw deal a little bit, but it's whatever. Trajan Langdon, greater than sign. I love whatever. That's in the past. Trajan Langdon fucking rules now, and that's all that matters. By the way, so does JB Bickerstaff. I talk about, the Pistons don't need to trade for anybody. I don't know about that, dog. You forgot to mention that Jaden Ivey. Yeah. In the last episode, I mentioned in passing, I was like, yeah, the Pistons are playing the Magic right now. And I was like, I saw Ivey was going berserk in the first quarter. Like, he just wasn't missing. And the irony in that, not really irony, but just the coincidence of, at the time that I was saying that in real time, would have been around when Ivey snapped his fucking leg against the Magic. So it was like, as I was being like, hey, that Jaden Ivey guy having a good game tonight, apparently. And then I was like, by the time this airs, he'll have had 60. And everybody will be like, oh, he saw it coming. He had fucking 60 bone staples. He had 60 bone grafts done because his bone turned into a fucking paperclip in his leg. So they're saying he's not done for the year. They're like, the Pistons make a playoff run. Then Jaden Ivey could be back. Brother, sit in a wheelchair. Chill out. Just chill out. You had a nice little bounce back quarter of a year. That's a whole subsection of this thing that I still haven't really, I don't know if I have the arsenal to cover this one from all angles, really, because it mainly just pissed me off and annoyed me. People being like, oh, fuck, Jaden Ivey, fuck. He was like, thanks for such a special season. That was the headline that pissed me off. Thanks for the special season, Jaden Ivey. The fuck? We're like 17 and 18, which is cool. Let's pull up the standings right now. Like, he's had a fun year in a sort of like a bounce back way where he breaks free of this Monty Williams jail, right? Yeah, there's as of this taping, 17 and 18, 7 and 3 in their last 10, in the 9th seed right now. It's been a great first quarter to the season. I'm being so nippy. I'm realizing this is good that I was saying it out loud because I'm realizing what I sound like right now, and I don't even care though because I really the way I should be attacking this is like, hey, it sucks that he's fucking done for the year because he was awesome, and what I was saying about getting out of Monty Williams jail, like for him to prove to people that like, yeah, it actually was that fucking guy's fault. I truthfully don't think he thinks about that. I don't think he cares about that, like narratively what we think about, like what, I don't think he cares. But there's a piece of me that wonders if he does a little bit. One thing that is this a take worth getting off about the Pistons? I think that the road to the 7 seed, I think it goes through Detroit. I think at this pace right now, I think that's where we're going. Because if you look at it, the 5 seed and the 11 seed are separated by 3 games. So like in a week from Sunday to by Saturday, this whole thing could be completely flipped on its head. You know what I mean? And so the Pistons throughout this first quarter of the season have been fluctuating between like 10 and like 6. And so, all right, well, who's at 5 right now? Milwaukee. They've been on a heater, kind of just like fine lately, but they've, you know what I mean? They've gotten back on track. We're like, okay, there's Milwaukee. So we're not that concerned about Milwaukee right now. Miami, they're at 6. Well, I think whoever they're going to get for Jimmy is going to fucking stink. Unless it's Kuminga, which I don't even, at this point, the publicity of this trade is what fucks Miami completely. And by the way, is also what ended up causing such a delay. Well, not exclusively this, but one of the reasons that the Dame trade took forever to happen was because Portland just like didn't have any leverage, but they weren't going to give him away for nothing. But there weren't that many suitors, and that's why Miami was like, you basically just have to give him to us. And Portland waited it out. They were like, we're fucking, A, no we don't, and B, no we're not, C, fuck you, Pat Riley. And guess what? That worked to their advantage. They got way better shit than they would have ever gotten from Miami, even if they waited 10 years to actually complete that trade. And so for all of that bad karma to come back around on Miami and lowballing the fuck out of Portland, it would be funny. It would be funny if they do not get neither dick nor balls in exchange for Jimmy Butler and they just stink. They completely stink. So they could fall. They could slip through the cracks. Atlanta, I don't know. The Trae Young thing this year. I don't know, guys. I kind of like him. I'll leave it at that for now. Kind of on board with the Trae Young thing, but get out of the 7 seed. Fella. Pacers. Nah. Pacers above us right now? Yeah, I don't know. Got the Bulls and the Sixers. The Sixers, at some point you think, right? Probably at some point it'll happen. I didn't even mention the fact that Anthony Edwards and Cade combined for, 95 points the other night. Pistons beat the Timberwolves. Something to be said about the Pistons' ability this season to beat teams that you're confused why they're not good yet. Case in point, they beat the Timberwolves. You're like, what the fuck's going on with the Timberwolves this season? They beat the Sixers. You're like, what the fuck is going on with the Sixers this season? Beat the Kings? What the hell? They fired their coach? What's going on with the Kings this season? Phoenix has the thing where it's like, if Kevin Durant plays, awesome. If he doesn't play, not as awesome. Certainly not as awesome. So you get what I'm saying? We're good at beating those teams. The ones where you're like, I thought they were going to be like good this year, and you're still just waiting for them to sort of, get back into a cruising altitude. Cade Cunningham, 40 points against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And it's crazy. Like, I watch him play, and it's almost the same as all the stuff I was saying about the Lions, honestly. For me as a Pistons fan, to be watching their best player on the court be a guy that I know is like the archetype for like, yeah, that's the guy that you need, like very much physically, not even just ability, but like physically, that like wins games. These higher, I said higher elevation, these taller initiators, these playmakers, these guys who are able to be physical around the rim, but also can get to their spots, like fucking that. Like the amount of stuff, one of Cade's last buckets at the end of the first quarter, I think. Was it the end of the first quarter or was it going into halftime? I think it was the first quarter that he had against Minnesota. Dude, he just like dribbles for like 6 seconds at the 3-point line, takes 2 dribbles inside, uses a little, for our Apple Podcast listeners who are not able to use the video feature of this program, I'm putting down a little shoulder, give a little, but that's a lot of guy to be giving you a little, but it creates enough separation that he's able to get that, I don't know, fucking little 10-foot, and that shit's cash. He's been so good at it this year. He's been so good at it. I think we talked about this a little bit in the last episode, where he's using his body so much better this season. And I think that's, I don't know if I connected this dot. I think that's part of the reason why he spends so much time barking at the refs. I think it's because now, sure, there's the piece of it where it's like, he's not going to do it when he's, in his first or second year. Like, you got to sort of, earn your keep in that way. You know what I mean? You got to give the refs a reason to not just be like, shut the fuck up. Like, if you have to establish yourself first, right? I totally get that. It's like Art of War shit. Not Art of War, but it's like, what am I trying to say? It's like a fucking, the King of the Jungle. I'm losing myself. Fucking get to the point, brother. I think the reason that he's saying so much shit to the refs now is because he's starting to use his body more. And so he's getting fucking wailed on. He's getting the shit beat out of him. And so now he's just, hey, Stripes, can I get a fucking whistle? I got my horn in the post over here. The hell? Come on. So that's been fun to see. He's an all-star. Anthony Edwards, kind of getting killed a little bit on the internet this week. You've seen this. You heard about this. So Anthony Edwards had a quote the other night where he was like, yeah, getting double teamed is bullshit, and I hate playing that way. And one of the reporters made a comment about, because Anthony Edwards was like, yeah, I got like 5 assists or whatever the fuck. He's like, but I want to score the ball. One of the reporters was like, yeah, you're just like Mike Conley. And Anthony Edwards was like, I do not want to play like that. That shit's dumb, and getting doubled is dumb, and it makes me not want to play. Makes me want to go home. And he got killed for that, and people were like, it's the same energy as when Devin Booker got all fucking mad in like an LA Fitness when he got a double sent at him. And he was like, oh, you can't fucking double in a pickup game. People were like, shut up. You're fucking Devin Booker. Shut up. So, okay, so he got killed. Well, first of all, the further removed we are from the Devin Booker thing, I just think he's right about that. I think he's completely right about that. It's annoying. Well, no, then I'm contradicting myself, because the one thing I was like, you're a fucking NBA player, Devin Booker. No, fuck that. Fuck that. Well, who is he playing, though? I guess that piece of it also matters a little bit. Because if he was playing actual NBA players, wasn't Joakim Noah at that run? I think he was at that. So then it had to have been actual NBA players. Because Joakim Noah wouldn't just play with some fucking guys. Have I ever told the story on here about when somebody real life thought I was Joakim Noah? For those of you who don't know, a frequently asked question here at the Coping Hour is Motown Noah. Where does that come from? Why do you call yourself Motown Noah? Motown Pistons fan. Well, just like Detroit sports fan. I look like Joakim Noah. Motown Noah. It's just where it came from. Got it from Duncan Smith. He used to write for Forbes. I don't know if he still writes for Forbes. Pistons Twitter guy. He just called me at one night because I was doing my post-game video recaps. He just found me. It's like, oh, Motown Noah, this guy. Because everyone called me Joakim Noah. Everyone fucking calls me Joakim Noah. That's where that came from. But it's all right. I don't know, first month that we had moved to Chicago, I had gotten a job at Wrigley. So I was walking to work one day, and a guy, like, double-taked. He walked past me, did, like, a double-take. He was like, he said something, I had headphones in, but I could tell that he was talking to me. So I like kept walking because I was like, I'm not a fucking guy yelling at me on the sidewalk. I'm fucking keep walking. Fuck you. I'll kill you. Shut up. Don't talk to me. I'm scared. And then he kept saying something. I turn around. He's Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah. I'm not Joakim Noah. I'm fucking a foot shorter than him, brother. He's like, oh, you look like Joakim. I'm like, yeah, I hear that a lot. And that was it. I guess as I was saying it, I was realizing that it actually didn't end in an interesting way. What do you say we wrap up today's show with an email from Carl? Let's do a dad email. Love doing dad emails. I fucking love dad emails. From Carl. Carl, welcome to the show. Subject line, New Year and my last year of selfishness. Hi, Nick. I'm going to be a dad this spring, and my wife and I are taking all the classes and doing all the reading to be ready to welcome our first kid. I'm 27, and I'm realizing my free time and hobbies are going to be taking a serious hit in the amount of time I'm going to be able to give them once the baby arrives. What was/is your experience with that transition? Is there anything I can do to prepare myself for the lack of quote-unquote me time coming up? Or will it ever even matter? Or will it even matter once I'm finally a dad? Thanks, and go Blazers. We should fire Chauncey ASAP. Hey, chill on my guy, because he was at the Lions game tonight, which is such cool timing. Portland in town to play the Pistons. Chauncey just gets to go to a Lions game. That's awesome. Carl, thank you for the question. I struggled with this one a lot. This one was hard for me, and it still is to this day, to like adjust to the whole no like you time thing. I'm very, very selfish with my time, and I've been pretty bad about it in the past, but you know, I think just the longer I've been with Maddie, I think the more I've maybe lightened up on a little bit. I still have my bad days though, where even before we had our baby, like, dog, I need time to do what I want to do. And a lot of the time that's going to be like just me doing something by myself. But that's just, I don't know, that's just decompressing time for me. Like, it's just I'm very comforted by being just by myself, right? And so making sure that I'm in control of the thing that I'm doing, like, I need that me time. And so I was very much in your situation here where it's like, fuck, dude. And I don't know, like, what your, like, if you're going to work every day, right? Like, I don't know if you're like me and like, dog, you're the stay-at-home, right? If you're a stay-at-home dad and your wife goes out and she works, like, I don't know what your situation is. Maybe you both go to work and you have, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. Well, even if you have to go out to work, like, you're going to fucking come home and either the baby's already going to be asleep or it's going to be right on the tail end of them going down. And so it's like, well, fuck, you basically just missed the whole day with them. That's what Maddie experiences fucking 5 days a week. And it's devastating for her. That shit's impossible, right? And so then on your off days that you have, it's like, well, you're trying to make up for the lost time that you didn't get to spend with your kid throughout the week, but also you need that day off to like do fucking laundry or go get the groceries or like just do shit around the house or do something that you want to do. So then you're fucking juggling a million things and you always put yourself last in that situation. And it's so easy for yourself to just kind of get put on the back burner because you're like, oh, I'll be fucking fine. I'll be fine. I'll figure it out. But then at some point it starts to boil over and you're going to have one bad day with the baby and you're going to fucking, you're going to feel like you're going to snap. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've had to like, just like walk in the other room for a second and just like chill out. Like Maddie will be at work and I'll just like, I'll set him in his bouncer and I'll give him some stuff and I'll be like, for 30 seconds, I just need to fucking walk away. You know what I mean? It's hard. And then when you're, again, someone like me, and it sounds like yourself, when you already rely on that you time and you just know that you're not getting it, however you have to do it, to your point, it will be less than what is maybe ideal or what you're used to. But no matter how much time it is, you have to carve that time out for yourself in order to be not just a better person, like in general, but to be a better father and to be a better husband to your wife, right? Because then you're fucking, it's something, right? That release is still something. There will be like a 30-minute window where I put my son down for a nap and I'm like, this is not going to be a long nap. I can tell he's going to be down for like maybe 45 minutes if I'm lucky. And so that means I can play college football for like 30 minutes. Like I can do like one thing and it's, you know what I mean? Like either I do that or I take a nap or like I make some food. Like I do so. You have to just pick those windows throughout the day. And that gets fucking exhausting too, dude. Cause like taking naps throughout the day when it's just me and him, it's so fucking hard, dude. Cause the second he goes down, I'm like, okay, here's 10 things that I need to try to do. And then once I'm done with that, hopefully I can lay down. Right. But then by the time I finally do, I'm like, dude, he's going to be awake in 10 fucking minutes. I'm like, whatever, maybe he'll sleep longer. Like, I don't know. And the second that I know that I'm asleep, he'll start crying. He'll wake up. Oh my fucking God. And then I'm just pissed off. Right. And then I'm like, well, I might as well have just played damn video games if I'm already going to be in like just a frustrated mood. He's getting more teeth, dude. He's got more teeth coming in. He's got more. We're on he's just past 8 months. He's got his 5th tooth coming in. He's got so much hair now, which is awesome. Now that we can semi-style his hair, it just adds so much like personality to him, just like as a dude. And as a parent, that has just been like, that was one of the harder things in the beginning of it is just how almost like emotionally detached you can feel because there's just no personality. Like the amount of people, Maddie and I, it sucks to say this out loud. Like I don't really want to say it. I'm still going to, I'll say it, but it sucks to hear this, but the first like month or two, the first month, we felt like we were taking care of somebody else's kid. Like it was fucking hard. Cause there's no personality. You're just kind of like, you have no idea like what you're doing. And we had a little bit of support, from our families and stuff. But for the most part, we're in Chicago. It's just us. Like we have to figure this out. And you're just like, it's such a humbling experience. That first month, but then, they start to be able to look around a little bit more. They get some movement in their neck. And that's the other thing. It's like the fucking Hurt Locker everywhere, right? You're constantly just like stressed out and anxious. Like, am I doing the right thing? Is something bad going to happen if I do this thing? At night, you're a fucking disaster too. Man. But eventually, again, they start to develop things and they start to smile. They start to laugh and you can start to tell that they're like picking up on shit that you're doing. Like he started to do like peekaboo with us, which is, he'll just like kind of just do it sometimes, like on his own. What the fuck? He goes nuts. Once we realize what he's doing and we play along with it, he goes fucking nuts. It's crazy. Clapping. He's big into clapping right now. He's so close to crawling, dude. We just can't get him to do it. Can't get him to do it. He will not eat real food. He just won't. We've tried everything. If you send in an email, oh, Nick, you should try this thing. We did. Whatever it is, we tried it. Didn't work. Hasn't worked. But just to circle back to the beginning of the email, I guess, because this is one that man, this is just so real. It's so important. Whatever it is that you like to do, man, you just have to make sure that you are making that time for yourself. And it's going to be the same thing for your wife, too. The first few, I mean, everybody, probably recovers differently. I don't remember how long exactly it was that Maddie was sort of just like in bed after delivery. Is that invasive for me to even talk about? If she was out here, she probably wouldn't have a problem with it. That's probably fine. But she was also a fucking soldier, man. I talk about this. Anybody who will listen to our birthing story, I will tell this to. That she did not make a single sound during labor and delivery. Well, wait, no, that's not true. During labor, she did because Pitocin is a fucking chemical, and they just put it in you and it just fucking kills you. So that sucked for her. And then also they gave her, but during fucking delivery, didn't make a single sound. Not a grunt, not nothing. The nurses were like, you're really quiet. She was like, uh-huh. And she had also been reading a lot of books about breathing and shit during when you're actually pushing. And so she was doing one thing. That was what she was like, this is what's going to work for me. She had like gone through like fucking 10 different breathing techniques. She's like, this is the one that I'm going to do. And it was the complete opposite as to what the doctor was, the person who was catching our fucking baby, was like, no, breathe the complete opposite way. Matt is like, no, I'm not gonna do that. No. What an experience. Cut the umbilical cord, too. I think maybe the best analogy I maybe have ever made in my entire life was cutting an umbilical cord is like cutting through a rubber garden hose. It's the same. It's literally the same thing. You got and this is maybe a little bit gross, but you got to really give it some, because I had to give it 2 little uhs. First one, it was like, I was like, oh, fuck, this is disgusting. This is so much blood. And then the second one, snip, right there. And I was like, holy shit, I'm a dad. I didn't want to do it originally because I was like, I don't want to fuck up his belly button. I didn't know. It's essentially, cutting an umbilical cord is functionally the same as cutting a ceremonial ribbon. They just section off a little piece of it. It doesn't fucking matter. You're not making his belly button. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do that. It's the grand opening of our child. What's up? He's here, world. What's going on? We got a Polaroid photo book that we've been taking photos up to. It's going to time out perfectly. It's basically going to last us up until his first birthday. And so it's just going to be like, okay, so we just get a new one of these every year. We just fill it with Polaroids. Dude, it's going to sound so dumb. Physical photos are awesome. I bought Maddie a Polaroid, I don't know, at this point, 8 years ago, maybe. It's maybe I think the most usage that we've gotten out of anything that either of us has ever gotten for each other. And it's the best gift ever. The only thing that's a little bitch about it is how expensive film is. And then I was going to get my nieces a Polaroid, a couple rolls of film for Christmas. Fuck that. Dog, it would have been like $110. We go to Target, just that, I don't know what brand this is. I got buffs. I got fucking sunglasses on its side. I can't see what that says from across the room. When I bought it, I don't know, maybe like $60 or something. No, Polaroid at Target. It was on sale. Fucking $80. Heck, no. Roll of film was like 20. No, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. Absolutely not. Alrighty, folks, if you're listening to this on Spotify, what's your guys' question this week? Man, I'm sorry. Dude, I'm taping this so late at night. It is 11:51 p.m. Central Time. Our kid is going to be awake at 5. And I still have to edit this. I don't know. Dude, this is going to fuck my whole week up. Seriously. being up this late and recording this episode. But I you know what I mean? I had to do this one. I had to do this one on time and immediately after the game. So Spotify listeners, forgive me. I don't know. My brain is fried right now. Spotify listeners, 5 stars. I'm so sorry. I tried and nothing came out. Apple Podcast listeners, you guys are out there. That was wild. The Apple Podcast crew. You guys were waiting. For that one. Still got to figure out your guys' vibes before I start asking you guys questions or factor you guys in. But I have eyes on you. I have received the tip about the Apple Podcast constituents. And yeah, we'll monitor it. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. Nice little comment for the algorithm. Make sure to keep primary control in check. And I will catch you guys. Bonus episode on Wednesday. In the next one.
Beautiful.